Hi everybody, Al Gattullo here, and it is time for episode number 2 of the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Videocast. I got to come up with a better name for these things, but for now, that's the name. We've got some names we'll throw around at the end of the program, and hopefully you guys can give me some feedback on it as what you would like to have this show be called. But today we're going to talk about IPAs. IPAs, which are India Pale Ales. We're going to go through the a couple of different India Pale Ales. One of them we're going to try on this cast, and then I'm going to do another one a little bit later on, and I'll upload that as well to YouTube. India Pale Ales. What are they? Why are they so big right now in the stores? People are going crazy for them, all different types. East Coast, West Coast, English, this, that, and the other. We're going to try and break it down for you a little bit here. So an India Pale Ale. What is an India Pale Ale? Well, an India Pale Ale, first brewed in England and exported for the British troops that were stationed there, hence India Pale Ale. It's really just a pale ale, and they put India in the front of it, but the reason why India Pale Ales are so popular is because their alcohol content is stronger. They started being made in the late 1700s, and many IPAs, as I said, have an alcohol by volume, or ABV as we like to call it, of 7% or higher. So they're very strong, and you drink a few of these, and you can get yourself pretty smashed. So let me show you. See, we're very high tech here on the Al Gattullo Videocast, okay? That'll give you a little description of what India Pale Ales are. And one of the ones that we're going to sample today is from Coronado Brewing. Here it is, the Islander IPA. It's one of their best sellers. Coronado Brewing. It's fantastic. Coronado, I'll give you a little brief history on them in just a moment. But so IPAs are hoppier because of the wort. And now this is the liquid that's extracted from the mashing of the hops. And so what happens is the wort is well fermented. It leaves behind little sugar in the mix, and so the hops that have been added are much stronger. Okay, that's essentially what an India Pale Ale is. Less sugar in the beer. The hops are much stronger, and that's where you get the higher alcohol content. Now, the difference between East Coast and West Coast IPAs is somewhat simple. East Coast IPAs, stronger malt, spicier European hops, obviously because Europe is closer in the East Coast for them to get those hops. A lot of brewers will make their own in the craft brew industry, but they will import some European hops when necessary. A West Coast IPA, more hops, little to no malt. So maltier East Coast IPAs, less maltier West Coast IPAs, and we'll show you right up there. See, we're very high tech here. All right, very high tech. So that's the difference between East Coast and West Coast IPAs. Now again, reach me at Twitter, at Al Gattullo. That's at Al Gattullo, ALGATTULLO. We'll put that up there again for you guys at the end of the program. So now we're talking about Coronado Brewing and their Islander IPA, which is what we're going to try in just a few moments. Quick history on Coronado Brewing, established in 1996 by two brothers, Ron and Rick Chapman. 30-barrel brew house they have built now at Coronado Brewing. They can produce up to 40,000 barrels a year. They're located in San Diego. Again, established in 1996, and you can visit them. They have a bunch of breweries down on the West Coast in San Diego and the surrounding areas. The Islander IPA is a 7% ABV. 7% ABV. So it's fairly strong. And we're going to show you as well on what, not show you, but at least tell you what types of foods that you can pair up IPAs with, because they have more alcohol. So I've already got my beer open. I have my glass, and we're gonna pour that in there. Now you probably wonder, why am I using this type of glass for an IPA? Belgian glasses such as these tulip type glasses, are very good for IPAs. They bring out the hoppiness, as you see that pour going in. And look at that. Nice. That's a nice head. Look at that. Look at that. Very, shall we say, orange colored. Okay. That's a delicious head. We're going to let that simmer down for just a moment. So, India Pale Ales pair well with spicy foods. Okay. And we'll discuss that in a moment, what different types of spicy foods that you can drink with IPAs. They're good for desserts, but we're really focused more on the food portion of it. So Here it is, the Islander IPA from Coronado Brewing. And I'm going to give you a sip here. Wow. All right, so my initial reactions to this, very piney, woodsy, a solid grapefruit smell that you can smell off the beer as soon as it hits the bottle. You know, when you open up the bottle or you sniff it in the glass. Very grapefruit, um, a bitter pine taste. Not too bitter though. Actually, the bitterness. A lot of IPAs, some are very bitter that you really can't drink. This one, a little less bitter, but you can definitely taste the woodsy feel to it, as well as the grapefruit. Now, they say that there's some mango and apricot in it. I really can't detect that. Let me take another sip. You know what? Maybe a little bit of mango on the back end. I really can't taste the apricot. But a solid beer, 7% again, but it's not as bitter as you would think, so that you can actually have more than one. But again, 7% alcohol, very strong. You drink about 3 or 4 of these, let me tell you something, you're going to be in pretty good shape. Let's put it that way, okay? Now, what's a really good food to pair with an IPA? There are a couple of different types. Fried salty foods are one. Indian curries are another one, because again, curry, spicy. So the spiciness, the bitterness of the IPA will cut the spiciness. At first it won't, but it will, as you drink it, it will dilute the spiciness just a little bit. It's actually very good. Brings out a lot more of the flavor. Mexican dishes, of course, you know, your different types of spicy Mexican dishes, or chili. Chili's a good one. And the other one that you can go with, steaks and burgers on the grill. And what's most important about that when you're drinking IPAs, when you're grilling steaks or burgers, the caramelization. You want to get that crust on the steak. You want to get a hard crust on the steak. You want to get a hard crust on the burger. Make it a little spicy if you want, but that hard crust on that steak or burger will help with the Coronado IPA, the Islander IPA, or any IPA. So, well, I tell you, that is a really good beer. And the next podcast coming up in the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Podcast number 3, we're going to explore another IPA, a session IPA from my good friends at Blue Point Brewery. We're going to check them out. And again, a session IPA, different from a regular IPA. We'll get into that in the next podcast. But I want to thank the folks at Coronado Brewing. They sent me some beers and some shirts a few weeks back. Some fantastic stuff that I tried from them. Their anniversary IPA, their pumpkin drupal. You can get it in stores on the East Coast now. Again, Coronado, located in San Diego, established in 1996. Two brothers put it together. Great stuff. You should check it out. Again, want to contact me? Twitter, @AlGattullo. That's @AlGattullo on Twitter. You can contact me there. You can comment on the YouTube page. Please, we'd love to get a name for this show. We've got some ones batted around. The Suds Report, A Pint of Gattullo, Al's Alecast, Suds and Duds, Good Head with Al. We've got a bunch of different ideas. We'd love for you to contribute as well. We're also looking for sponsors. And if you want me to try your beer, then I'd like you to send me some. So get in touch with me @AlGattullo on Twitter. Okay? You get in touch with me there. Direct message me. I will provide you with an address to send the beer to, or I'll even come and pick it up if you're in the tri-state area around New York and New Jersey. Okay? Next time, we'll talk to you next time. Take care.